Have you ever wondered what really happened in those 3 days after Jesus died on the cross? The Gospels tell us his body was laid in a tomb, a stone was rolled in front, and then silence. For 3 full days, the Son of God was gone. No miracles, no public appearances, no recorded words. It's one of the biggest mysteries in Christianity. Where did Jesus go? The Bible doesn't give us a minute-by-minute account, but it leaves behind some fascinating clues. These clues have sparked centuries of debate, leading to several compelling theories about what happened between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Was he resting, or was he on a divine mission in a realm we can't see? Let's dive into the most prominent theory, one that you might have heard of, the harrowing of hell. This idea, deeply rooted in Christian tradition and supported by passages like 1 Peter chapter 3, suggests that Jesus descended to the realm of the dead. Now, when we hear hell, we often think of a place of eternal punishment. But in ancient Jewish thought, this realm, often called Sheol or Hades, was more like a shadowy waiting place for all souls, both righteous and unrighteous. So, according to this view, Jesus didn't go there to suffer. Far from it. He went as a conqueror. Imagine this, in the darkest place imaginable, a brilliant light appears. Jesus arrives not as a prisoner, but as a king, proclaiming his victory over sin and death. He's there to break the gates of Hades, to shatter the chains that held humanity captive. It is a powerful image. The moment of ultimate despair becomes the stage for his greatest triumph. He went to the very heart of death's kingdom to declare that its reign was over. This wasn't just a symbolic gesture. Theologians believe he went to liberate the righteous souls, who had died before his coming. Figures like Abraham, Moses, David, and John the Baptist. They had lived in faith, waiting for the promised Messiah. And now, the Messiah himself had come to lead them out of the shadows and into the light of God's presence. It was a cosmic jailbreak, an exodus from the land of the dead. So, while the world above mourned, Jesus was busy setting the captives free. But that's not the only interpretation. Another powerful clue comes directly from Jesus' own words on the cross. Remember the repentant thief crucified next to him? As he asked for mercy, Jesus gave him a stunning promise. Truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Today. Not in 3 days, not after some time in a waiting place, but today. This single word has led many to believe that upon his death, Jesus' spirit went immediately to paradise. But what is paradise? It's often understood as the blissful presence of God, a place of peace and rest, the same place Paul described being caught up to in the third heaven. This interpretation offers a different, more immediate picture of what happens after death for believers. It suggests that there's no intermediate state of waiting in darkness, but a direct transition into God's glorious presence. For Jesus, this would mean his human spirit, separated from his body, entered a state of communion with the Father. And he wasn't alone. He was accompanied by the very first soul saved by his completed work on the cross. This view focuses on the fulfillment of Jesus' promise and the immediate hope it offers to all who believe. It paints a picture not of a cosmic battle in the underworld, but of peaceful rest and reunion in heaven. While his body lay in the tomb, his spirit was in paradise, demonstrating that the reward of faith is immediate and wonderful. So, were those 3 days a time of rest and fellowship, proving that death has no hold on those who belong to God? It's a beautiful and comforting thought. So we have two strong possibilities: a victorious descent into Hades, or an immediate entry into paradise. But there's a third interpretation that combines elements of both, and it comes from another puzzling passage in 1 Peter. It says Jesus went and proclaimed to the spirits in prison. Who were these spirits? And why did Jesus proclaim a message to them? One school of thought suggests these were the souls of people who lived and died before the great flood in Noah's time. They had perished in disobedience, never having had the chance to hear the good news of salvation through Christ. In this view, Jesus' journey into the afterlife was a mission of proclamation. He wasn't necessarily offering them a second chance at salvation, but rather declaring the finality of his victory. He was showing them that the plan of redemption they had never known had now been accomplished. It was a declaration that justice and mercy had finally met. Another angle on this theory is even more dramatic. It proposes that these spirits in prison were not human souls at all, but fallen angels, the same ones mentioned in Genesis chapter 6 who rebelled against God. According to this view, Jesus descended into their place of confinement to announce their ultimate defeat. He was serving notice to the powers of darkness that their rebellion had failed and their judgment was sealed. This wasn't a message of hope for them, but a declaration of his absolute authority over all creation, both seen and unseen. Each of these theories paints a different picture of those 3 silent days. Was Jesus liberating Old Testament saints, resting in paradise, or proclaiming judgment on fallen spirits? The truth is, the Bible doesn't give us a definitive answer, and perhaps that's intentional. The mystery invites us to explore the depth and breadth of what Christ accomplished. But regardless of which theory you lean towards, One thing is crystal clear. Those 3 days were not an empty pause. They were not a period of inactivity. Whether he was battling in the depths or resting in the heavens, Jesus was actively completing the work of salvation. The silence was not the silence of defeat, but the quiet, hidden turning point of human history. Think about it. Before the world saw the empty tomb, before Mary Magdalene heard her name called, before the disciples touched his wounds, the decisive victory had already been won. Death itself had been defeated from the inside out. The power that held humanity in fear for millennia was broken. Those 3 days transform our understanding of death. They show us that the grave is not the end. For those who are in Christ, the period between death and resurrection is not something to be feared. It's a transition, a passage managed and secured by Jesus himself. He has gone before us, charting the territory and conquering every enemy. So, the next time you think about the Easter story, don't just jump from the cross to the empty tomb. Take a moment to ponder the mystery of the days in between. In that silence, God was performing his most profound and hidden work. He was turning the greatest tragedy into the ultimate triumph, ensuring that light would shine in the deepest darkness, and that life would spring forth from the heart of the grave. The mystery of the 3 days isn't an empty space in the story. It's the very foundation of our hope. Thanks for watching. If you found this exploration of faith's great mysteries interesting, please like this video and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the questions that matter. See you next time.